In a world where the material and the spiritual often intersect, a few figures emerge to remind us of the presence of the divine in our daily lives. Padre Pio of Pietrelcina is one such figure. Known for his spiritual gifts, miracles, and profound lessons of humility and faith, he became a beacon for millions of believers worldwide. Today, we will delve into the extraordinary life of this Capuchin friar, whose influence transcended his time and place, touching hearts and souls across the globe. Our journey begins in a small village in southern Italy, where, on May 25, 1887, Francesco Forgione was born, the boy who would one day be known as Padre Pio. Pietrelcina, a remote and humble village but rich in faith, was the birthplace of this future saint. His parents, Grazio and Maria Giuseppa Forgione, were simple peasants but deeply religious, instilling in young Francesco values that would shape him forever. From a very young age, Francesco demonstrated an unusual spiritual sensitivity. While other children played in the streets of Pietrelcina, he would often isolate himself to pray and meditate. His mother, noticing her son's deep spirituality, encouraged him, though she could not have imagined what the future held for him. By the age of 5, Francesco had already decided that he wanted to dedicate his life to God. In his moments of prayer, the boy reported heavenly visions and mystical experiences that the adults around him could barely comprehend. As Francesco grew, his faith only deepened. At the age of 10, a significant encounter would change his destiny. During a sermon, a young Capuchin friar spoke about the call to religious life, and those words resonated deeply in Francesco's heart. He knew at that moment that he was destined to become a friar. But the path to the priesthood would not be easy. The Forgione family was humble, and the education required to enter the seminary was beyond their financial means. Determined to help his son follow his calling, Francesco's father, Grazio, made a difficult decision. He would emigrate to the United States to work and send money for Francesco's education. During the years that his father was away, Francesco continued to prepare for religious life. He faced health challenges from a young age, suffering from intense pain and unexplained illnesses. Despite this, his faith remained unshaken. At 15, Francesco entered the Capuchin novitiate in Morcone, adopting the name Brother Pio, in honor of Saint Pius V. This was the beginning of a transformation that would lead him to become one of the most revered figures in the Catholic Church. At the Morcone convent, young Brother Pio began a life of study, prayer, and rigorous discipline. He quickly stood out for his fervent devotion and austere lifestyle. During this period, Brother Pio began experiencing mystical phenomena that left him both disturbed and deeply connected to the divine. He described visions of Christ, the Virgin Mary, and saints, as well as spiritual battles against evil forces. These experiences isolated him from the other friars but also prepared him for what was to come. On August 10, 1910, at the age of 23, Brother Pio was ordained a priest, becoming Padre Pio. From that moment on, his life became intertwined with that of thousands of believers seeking comfort, guidance, and hope in him. But Padre Pio's health remained fragile. He suffered from a series of illnesses that led him to spend long periods at home, away from the convent. During these years of convalescence, Padre Pio deepened his life of prayer and reflection, developing an even more intimate relationship with God. It was during this period of isolation that Padre Pio began to exhibit signs of the stigmata, the marks of Christ's wounds. In September 1918, while praying before the crucifix, he had a vision of Christ who bestowed the stigmata upon him permanently. The wounds appeared on Padre Pio's hands, feet, and side, causing him intense pain but also becoming a symbol of his deep communion with Christ's suffering. While the stigmata attracted great attention, they also brought doubts and suspicions. With the news of the stigmata, San Giovanni Rotondo, where Padre Pio served, became a pilgrimage destination. Thousands of people from all over the world came, drawn by the fame of the Capuchin friar who bore the wounds of Christ. Stories of miracles began to multiply. Cures of incurable diseases, sudden spiritual conversions, and even bilocation, the phenomenon where a person is seen in two places at the same time. Padre Pio became a mystical figure, almost legendary, in Italy and beyond. Among the numerous stories, one stands out: the miraculous healing of a young blind boy who, after receiving a blessing from Padre Pio, regained his sight. Another remarkable story is that of a woman with terminal cancer who, after confessing to Padre Pio, was inexplicably cured. These stories were not rare, and for many, there was no doubt that Padre Pio was a man blessed by God. However, not everyone shared this conviction. Within the Church itself, there was a division. Some members of the clergy and ecclesiastical authorities questioned the authenticity of the stigmata and the miracle reports. Padre Pio was subjected to several investigations and medical examinations, both by the Church and skeptical experts. Some suggested that the wounds were self-inflicted, while others believed he suffered from a rare psychological condition. Despite the controversies and the restrictions imposed by the Church, which at times prohibited him from celebrating Mass in public, popular devotion to Padre Pio only grew. Even under scrutiny and challenges, Padre Pio never abandoned his ministry. He devoted himself to confession, spending long hours in the confessional where thousands of believers sought his spiritual guidance. Padre Pio deeply believed in the power of prayer and the importance of alleviating human suffering. With this purpose in mind, he founded the hospital Casa Sollievo della Sofferenza in San Giovanni Rotondo, which became one of the largest health centers in Italy, dedicated to caring for the sick and needy. After a life marked by miracles, controversies, and unwavering faith, Padre Pio passed away on September 23, 1968, at the age of 81. His death was met with an outpouring of grief and veneration from people around the world. Even after his passing, his legacy continued to grow. The hospital he founded still stands as a testament to his compassion and commitment to the suffering. Pilgrims continue to flock to San Giovanni Rotondo, seeking spiritual solace at the place where Padre Pio lived and served. In 2002, Pope John Paul II canonized him as Saint Pio of Pietrelcina, recognizing his life of sanctity and the miraculous events attributed to him. Saint Padre Pio remains a figure of deep devotion, his life a testament to the power of faith and the enduring mystery of the divine. His story continues to inspire and guide millions of souls toward a deeper understanding of God's love and mercy.